Welcome to the new generation of General Motors training. Hello, I'm Jose Saro Solis. This video and accompanying reference manual represent one of our first productions. Everyone involved is looking forward to a long and successful series of in-dealership technician training programs. We're called GM Service Know-How. The GM in our name means that this corporate-wide program covers the full range of the GM product line, from the Chevrolet Metro to the Cadillac DeVille, including Chevrolet and GMC trucks and vans, and everything else in between. The service in our name means that every aspect of our operation exists in order to help you do your job better. We know you can fix trucks and cars, but we also know you need timely information. The know-how in our name means that we're drawing on experienced people from the best of the former GM training programs, such as Certified Plus training. We're here to provide you with concise, current, technically accurate service information that will help you with the vehicles you find in your service bay. We'll accomplish that goal by working closely with GM's brand quality managers and GM engineers. With the information in hand, we then distill it to the essential ingredients that we know you need. This first program covers the Buick Technical Features Review. Today we'll be concentrating on the Park Avenue, the Regal, and the Century. So let's get up to speed by taking a close look at the technological advancements that have been built into the 2000 Buick fleet. This GM Service Know-How video presentation organizes the Buick technical feature content into groups paralleling the ASE automotive technician categories. Upon completion of this training, you will be able to demonstrate increased knowledge regarding the 2000 Buick model lineup, covering features and improvements such as the engine, transaxle, steering and suspension, brakes, body electrical, and body service. We have a lot to cover concerning what's new for Buick engines. So let's get started.
First up are the engine features. The 1999 3100 V6 engine has received a small number of changes for 2000. These changes have upgraded the engine significantly. The engine for 2000 is known as the LG8 3100 Gen 3 V6, or more simply, the LG8. The LG8 engine maintains the same 9.6:1 compression ratio as the 1999 Gen 2 version. Power output from the new LG8 power plant has been increased to 175 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 195 pounds-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. GM powertrain engineers accomplished this increase in power without a massive engineering redesign. The cylinder heads were replaced with existing cylinder heads from the 3.4-liter V6 engine. The heads are fitted with new, lighter-weight valves that result in less valve train stress. Though the valves are lighter, both the intake and exhaust valve faces are larger in diameter. The pistons for the 3100 V6 are also new. The oil drainage slots have been eliminated. The new piston has notches below the oil ring land to handle drainage. Also, the new pistons have special patches to reduce friction. Be sure these patches are present when specifying replacements. Additionally, the LG8 Gen 3 3100 V6 engine also uses the 3.4-liter engine's upper and lower intake manifold, which has been modified for improved airflow. A direct mount reverse flow EGR valve is also used. The engine is mounted to a new hydraulic mount with an internal plastic flow plate. The mount has been designed to make engine installation easier and help isolate engine vibration and noise from the passenger compartment. The 3800 Series 2 V6 engine received a small handful of improvements that are aimed at enhancing smoothness and reducing noise. The crankshaft damper was retuned to reduce high-frequency disturbances. So do not use a 1999 damper on this engine. 3800 Series 2 and 3800 Series 2 supercharged engines have a constant radius throttle cam. While the supercharged 3800 has had the fuel lines mounted to the front of the cowl by rubber isolated clips to reduce noise, now the non-supercharged 3800 engine has this feature as well. Both engines now also feature an increase in the volume of the exhaust system that helps quiet the engine with no loss of power or performance. In addition, the engine mounts were moved further down. This provides easier access to engine accessories, especially the serpentine belt. Both engines now use a one-piece flex plate. The right side engine mount bracket is substantially stiffer than previous mounts, and it has been moved so that its resonance point is far away from the engine's firing frequency. This mount attaches to the oil pan just like it does in the 2000 LeSabre. Ultra-low emissions vehicle, or ULEV regulations, require an electric air injection reaction air pump. Injecting fresh air into the cylinder head passages and on into the exhaust stream provides the components necessary to complete the combustion of hydrocarbons once they enter the catalytic converter.
That's it for the engine side. Now let's look at how Buick gets this power to the road.
The 2000 Century will receive an upgrade to the 4T65E Transaxle. This is now standard equipment. The 4T65E has traditionally been mated to the 90-degree 3800 V6. The transaxle to engine fastening points have been modified to accept the 60-degree LG8 3100 engine. The final drive ratio of the 4T65E transaxle in the Century is 3.05 to 1 for better fuel economy. The transaxle also includes new aluminum transmission cooling lines with quick disconnect fittings.
By making the 4T65E the standard transaxle, Buick has achieved a high level of commonality that helps ensure that Buick drivetrains are stronger and more reliable. Now let's look into the changes to the steering and suspension systems.
Fuel efficiency is increased for 2000 by a simple change in the type of wheel bearing grease. All wheel bearings will use new low-drag grease. The low-drag grease allows the wheels to spin more freely. By reducing rolling resistance, fuel economy has increased by about 0.3 miles per gallon. Several changes have been implemented for the Park Avenue rear suspension system. A rear suspension support assembly is new for 2000. The rear suspension also includes new toe links. Cam bolts and washers are also new. These components are not interchangeable with previous rear suspension systems. A new outer ball joint nut does not require a cotter pin to secure it in place. Another new feature for 2000 is the availability of StabiliTrak. StabiliTrak is controlled by the electronic brake and traction control module of the Delco Bosch 5.3 anti-lock brake system. StabiliTrak can also be found on the 2000 LeSabre. For operation, it uses input data from 3 sensors. The first sensor is a steering angle sensor, located in the base of the steering column. Next is a lateral accelerometer that is located under the rear seat. The accelerometer measures the direction and degree of sideways force on the vehicle. The third is the yaw rate sensor, which measures the direction and degree of rotation the vehicle turns about the vertical axis. This sensor is located under the filler panel on the left side. Using data from these sensors in conjunction with vehicle speed information, the EBTCM actuates one of the front brakes to help correct oversteering or understeering due to combinations of road surface conditions, wind, and driver input. Although StabiliTrak enhances handling performance, the laws of physics still apply. Vehicle control is still greatly influenced by the adhesion of the vehicle's tires. To correct for oversteer, the brake for the wheel on the outside of the steering arc is pulsed to nudge the car back on track. To correct for understeer, the brake on the inside of the arc is pulsed. Unlike ABS, these braking functions occur whether or not the driver is applying the brakes at the time. StabiliTrak assists the driver with maintaining control of the vehicle during emergency or turning maneuvers on any type of road surface. StabiliTrak is designed so that any braking force used to correct understeer or oversteer is not noticeable by the driver. The desired yaw rate is calculated 100 times per second from inputs from the steering angle sensor, vehicle speed sensor, and the lateral accelerometer. Let's take a closer look at each sensor. The steering angle sensor tells the EBTCM which way the steering wheel is being turned. Because a steering wheel can turn 720 degrees or more from lock to lock, the sensor is designed without stops. The steering angle sensor has two separate resistance paths. When the steering wheel is turned, these paths overlap each other, so the EBTCM knows precisely when the steering wheel is at the center position. The lateral accelerometer is located on the left side of the vehicle under the rear seat. This sensor reports the amount and direction of sideways force on the vehicle. The lateral accelerometer employs a micro-machined silicone beam that deflects from side to side as the vehicle turns. The beam is located between two stationary plates. The plates and the beam are electrically charged during sensor operation. When the beam deflects due to turning forces, the charge on the stationary plates changes. The changes are translated by the sensor's internal circuits to a voltage signal that is then reported to the EBTCM. The amount of beam deflection can be as little as 1/1000th of a millimeter. With very quick and accurate beam deflection measurement detection, the system is able to respond in as little time as possible. The yaw rate sensor reports the direction of a turn and the rate of rotation of the vehicle about its vertical axis as it turns. The yaw rate sensor uses a micro-machined quartz tuning fork array that can convert electrical signals to mechanical motion and mechanical motion into electrical signals. Movement of the array about the vertical axis is detected by disturbances in the output of the quartz forks and translated by the sensor's internal circuits to a voltage signal, which is reported to the EBTCM.
That's a pretty comprehensive look at the Park Avenue's version of StabiliTrak. Now, let's spend a few moments looking at what has changed in the various Buick braking systems.
The Delphi Brake Control, or DBC-7 anti-lock brake system, is a carryover system for the Regal and Century, with one exception. The electrical harness at the rear of the vehicle has been modified and relocated for 2000. For 1999, the rear ABS wiring harness was routed through two floor pan pass-throughs, with each branch of the harness clipped to a trailing arm. The harness has been revised for the 2000 model year. It is routed along the lateral links branching out from a single crossmember source. The entire rear ABS harness now uses the existing fuel tank pass-through. The two ABS harness pass-throughs used last year have been sealed off to reduce noise intrusion. The Delco Bosch 5.3 ABS has a new dynamic rear proportioning valve. The proportioning valve was removed from the previous braking system solenoid valve body and placed remotely at the rear of the car. Due to the change in the hydraulic brake system lines, the AC refrigerant lines had to be rerouted to provide the proper clearance.
With relatively few brake system changes for 2000, we can now begin to concentrate on body electrical items. One area we're going to cover in detail is how to remove and replace a LeSabre door trim panel without breaking anything. It's a very complicated piece of engineering. Once you see just how everything fits together, you'll experience a lot less frustration. But first, we're going to take a second to talk about daytime running lamps.
For 2000 Buick Park Avenue, the daytime running lamps feature will be controlled by the BCM. The DRL module has been removed from the electrical system. 4 new diagnostic trouble codes have been added to the current list of BCM codes. The DTC B2603 indicates that the left front turn lamp may be shorted to battery power. DTC B2608 indicates that the right front turn lamp may be shorted to battery power. DTC B2647 means that the light sensor ground may have an open, and DTC B2648 indicates that the light sensor is shorted to battery power. The 2000 LeSabre has a new door trim panel that is completely different from any previous door trim panel design. Improper or forced removal of this panel will likely break it or the plastic retainers. Be very careful when removing this door panel. A panel that's already been removed shows that 9 plastic hand push-in retainers attach the panel to the door. This metal edge pops over the window inner belt sealed strip. Metal retainers slide into 2 plastic clips in the door to provide a solid anchor. Be sure to have a full set of replacement pins and retainers on hand to replace any that may break during disassembly. All fastening parts are required for a tight, rattle-free door. Insert a small, flat-bladed tool behind the forward edge of the door handle bezel and gently pry the bezel away from the door trim panel. Pull the door handle open a bit and slide the bezel off. Then disconnect the electrical connector. Being careful to protect the paint, use tool J38778 to remove the shark fin from the door frame and then lift the shark fin upward. If a tweeter is in the shark fin, disconnect its connector. Use the flat-bladed tool to remove the door reflector. Then remove the fasteners. Insert J38778 between the door and the lower edge of the trim panel. Center the trim panel plastic pin in the groove of tool J38778 and pop the pin from the door. A popping sound is normal. After disengaging the bottom edge, hold the panel away from the door about an inch to help disengage the front and rear edge pins. After popping the pins, slide each from its cage and allow it to fall from the door trim. The panel can lay flat against the door. Pull the door panel up from the bottom about an inch. The bezel cutout hits the door handle. In this position, the 2 metal clips have been disengaged from the plastic retainers. Carefully maneuver the handle bezel opening over the door handle and continue raising the trim panel. Once clear of the door handle, remove the trim panel and disconnect the electrical connector. After completing repairs, be absolutely certain that the water deflector is secured and sealed to the door. If it is not sealed, an interior water leak will occur. Proper sealing of this water deflector is essential to customer satisfaction. Use needle nose pliers to depress the door-mounted spring clip metal tabs. Slide the black plastic retainers from the spring clips. Slide the push pins in their cages with the 3 long pins at the bottom of the trim panel. Insert the black plastic retainers into the trim panel metal retainers. Connect the door wiring harness and the routing clip to the door module. Hold the top of the trim panel away from the top of the door about 6 inches and set the 3 lower push pins in the door retainers. Push the top of the door trim panel toward the door. With all pins aligned, pop the 3 lower pins to the door. This automatically aligns the metal clips to the plastic retainers. Push on the upper edge to engage the top rail over the window inner belt seal strip. Wrap on the door panel at the remaining pins. Install a new plastic fastener to the inside of the shark fin. If equipped, reconnect the tweeter wiring to the speaker in the shark fin. Lower the shark fin into the trim panel recess and push it to the door frame. Install the door lock electrical connector to the handle bezel and install the bezel. Install the fastener and the door reflector. The trunk release button has been brought back for the 2000 model year. The release button is located behind the glove box door. This item was an option a few years ago, was dropped altogether for $19.99, but is now standard equipment on all 2000 Century and Regal models. The driver's side airbag system is found on the 2000 Buick Regal and Century. For these Buick models, the driver's side airbag system is only available with leather seats. In addition to the inflatable restraints in the steering wheel and instrument panel, the side impact inflatable restraints are built into the outboard side surface of the left front seat back. The side impact airbag system consists of an inflatable restraint side impact sensor, or SIS, mounted in the left lower B-pillar, an inflatable restraint sensing and diagnostic module, or SDM, mounted on the floor under the seat, and an airbag warning lamp in the instrument panel cluster. The SIS, inflatable restraint side impact inflator module, SDM, and the connecting wires make up the side impact inflatable restraint system. The SIS contains a sensing accelerometer that converts the change in the vehicle's side velocity to an electrical signal. The SIS is treated as a discriminating sensor and is an input to the SDM. With the addition of side impact sensors, be careful when performing body or interior trim service around the B-pillars. Be sure to disable the SIR system prior to any procedures to avoid accidental deployment, which could result in injury and vehicle damage. For diagnostics and deployment, the SDM compares side impact sensor's electrical signal to a value stored in memory. When the generated signal exceeds the stored value in the SDM will cause current to flow through the side impact inflator module, deploying the side airbag. The SDM performs diagnostic monitoring of the SIR system electrical components and sets any diagnostic trouble codes which can be accessed with the Tech 2. The Park Avenue dual side airbag system is a shared technology with the 2000 LeSabre. In addition to the inflatable restraints in the steering wheel and instrument panel, the 2000 Park Avenue side impact inflatable restraints are built into the outboard surface of both the driver and passenger front seat backrest bolsters. The Park Avenue system works just like the driver side only system just described for Regal and Century. Be sure to remember two items about the driver passenger side airbag systems. First, the bags will deploy individually based upon which side of the vehicle experiences a sufficient impact. Secondly, Park Avenue and LeSabre have two different side airbag designs. The Park Avenue side airbags are designed to protect both the head and thorax areas of the occupants. With LeSabre, the airbags protect the thorax area only. The exterior of the Park Avenue is virtually unchanged for the 2000 model year. However, there are noteworthy changes in the interior. With 2000 Park Avenue's new front seats, you'll find dual post headrests, the power tower is now tied to memory, and there are new map pockets in the seat backs. In addition, RKE key fobs are numbered 1 and 2 to help identify the key fobs for the primary and secondary driver. With personal choice features tied to the key fob signal, it's important to use the correct transmitter. This change is intended to eliminate confusion with personal choice features.
Buick has aimed numerous small refinements to the quality of their current fleet. While some systems are new, most of the changes for the 2000 Park Avenue, Century, and Regal are subtle quality added features. Further coverage of Buick's new model technical features can be found in the reference booklet that accompanies this GM Service know-how video. Understanding what's new enables you to directly affect customer satisfaction. Thank you for watching.
To earn attendance and completion credit for this course, take the test found in the accompanying course book and phone in your answers. After viewing the video and reading the course booklet, find the course test at the end of the booklet in section Q. To take the test, use a blank piece of paper. Record your Social Security number and the course number on the paper, along with the question numbers and answers to the test. In this way, you'll have everything handy when you place the call. Once you have completed the test, dial 1-800-446-8724 to receive your credit. The system will prompt you to enter your Social Security number. Use the keypad on a touch-tone phone for each of the digits. Then press the pound key. The system will repeat the number it receives. To verify this number, press the pound key again. Next, enter the numeric portion of the course number for the test you're taking, followed by the pound sign. Do not attempt to enter the decimal point or any letters. The system will then prompt you to enter your test answers. The system will not read the test questions. You will be prompted with a question number. If your answer is A, press number 1. If the answer is B, press number 2. If your answer is C, press number 3. And if your answer is D, press number 4. Continue answering the questions as the system prompts you. After you've answered all questions, the system will repeat the questions along with your answers. If they are correct, verify them by pressing the pound key. If you want to change an answer, press the star key. You'll be asked which answers you want to change. This phone-in test procedure replaces the previously used mail-in procedure. In fact, you can use this phone-in procedure for all existing as well as future courses. With this phone-in system, your test results are immediately entered into the Service Training Management System database, known as the STEMS database. The system will also give you immediate test results on how well you did. If you are successful, course completion certificates are mailed within 3 to 4 weeks. Good luck.